The federal government is cracking down on what it calls terrorism tourism. New powers will allow welfare payments to be stripped from people deemed to be a risk to national security. The United Nations Security Council is also taking action, imposing sanctions to cut off funding for Islamic State militants. Here's political reporter Karen Binney.
The government's trying to stop Australians fighting with terrorist groups.
The last thing we want is terrorism tourism on the taxpayer, and there will be no terrorism tourism on the taxpayer.
Tony Abbott wants to stop welfare for people deemed a national security risk.
If there is one Australian overseas engaged with a terrorist organisation on social security, that is one too many.
Australian terrorist Khalid Sharoof, who allowed his son to hold a severed head, was on welfare when he joined the fight.
Welfare should be available for people who need it.
The Human Services Minister will hold the power and take advice of intelligence agencies, the Attorney General or Foreign Affairs Minister.
It will be used sparingly, it will be used with discretion, but it will certainly be used rigorously.
The new powers are part of a broader push cracking down on Australians heading overseas to fight in Iraq and Syria. While the government's targeting terrorist welfare, the United Nations Security Council's targeting terrorism backers.
Will those in favour?
A unanimous vote has approved sanctions designed to weaken Islamic State by cutting off its funding.
This resolution is a clarion call to member states to continually review their national counter-terrorism measures to keep pace with the evolving threats.
Global travel bans have been imposed on 6 key militants. They've also had their assets frozen.
It sends a clear political message that the international community utterly condemns ISIL's brutal and mindless terrorist acts.
About 150 Australians are thought to be fighting overseas. About 1 million Iraqis have been displaced. Karen Binney, ABC News, Canberra.